Hey, what's up, Aquarius? How's it going? Robin here with AriesFireTarot. So, guys, I'm getting ready to do your bonus read for June 2020, which means that I'm just doing a different kind of reading outside of I do monthly wealth and abundance, and then I do the monthly star guide reading. So, I like to do a different read every bonus, like as much as I can. So, anyway, I'm using an inner child tarot card spread. So this one should be really helpful for a lot of people. I know that a lot of people have childhood trauma or just have, pieces of themselves that are a little bit disconnected. So anyway, this should be a really helpful read, you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. And do remember to comment and let me know what you think of the spread, like of the reading, and let me know if you have any ideas for what kind of readings you'd like to see me do. Because I like to do different ones to try and help people out, right? So, because life is so complicated. So, I'm going to be using the Witch's Tarot for this one, you guys. It just felt right. And the first card we're going to look at is the personality of your inner child. So, this should be a really cool reading. Anyway, I'm going to do a deck cut here. Well, this is nice. So I pulled the Queen of Wands here. Here, let me show you the card. So the Queen of Wands, and she's very relaxed. There's something about the queens in this deck that is completely different than any other deck I have. And they have the energy of being very powerful, but knowing when to rest themselves also. So the personality of your inner child is probably very, I'm getting words like ambitious and kind of spunky, like firecracker, because the Wands is a fire sign. I'm getting just some random words here, a little bit troublesome, a little bit meddlesome. So, probably a child that had a lot of energy, really inquisitive, probably enjoyed being the center of attention. This is a great personality. There's knowing when to sit back and take it easy. Probably push things a little bit to the edge sometimes. Very interesting. So let's see an area of your life your inner child causes trouble in. So we've got the Five of Cups. So I think this is really kind of fitting with the Queen of Wands, because there could be a little bit of a reluctance to take responsibility for things that happened, and kind of looking back and saying, well, I don't know why that didn't work out, and I really wish that had have developed in a different way. There's sometimes pieces in readings that can be very tough for the listener to hear. So when we see the Five of Cups, it's somebody looking back in a little bit of a sorrowful way, right? But I'm seeing where things could have been a little bit smoother for you if this inner child hadn't have pushed the envelope a little too far with the Queen of Wands energy. Not everybody enjoys mischievous, troublesome, meddlesome, sort of pushy. And this is like, I find most children are like that. But in an adult, it's not so easy to forgive. So it's knowing when to read the room, you guys. This is where your inner child is asking for too much attention, probably pushing people a little too far. And you probably, kids can get away with it because they're kids and they're cute and they don't know better. But as an adult, people are like, yeah, you should probably rein that in a little bit. And then you could be kind of wondering why things don't work out for you, or why that wasn't so well received. I'll just give you a really quick example. How babies, they're being bottle fed or whatever, and then they're burped over somebody's shoulder, and everybody makes a great big like, oh, good for you. But then if you burp as an adult, depending on the crowd you're with, People just freak out and say, oh, you're so gross. So you get to this line in your life where, like, what is acceptable for you as, like, growing up into your teen years is no longer acceptable as an adult. And I think that some of you could be having trouble finding where that line is, and it leaves you a little bit like El Misterioso, like, why doesn't this fly anymore? You know, it used to be really cute. So let's see how to nurture yourself in that area, because Five of Cups energy is really like, it's lonely and it's feeling like, you know, outcast a little bit. So how to nurture yourself in that area? You've got the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands just kind of moves forward and finds new ways. He's a real trailblazer. And you can see here, and I love the way that the horse face is dead on, because it's coming at you. Because you're definitely a force to be reckoned with. So some of you might have to go back and rescue that child, you know. I've seen some interesting videos and techniques where people, they sort of visualize the child and they go back and they talk to the child, you know, or go back to yourself in that moment where you were feeling like really left out or disapproved of, you know, and sort of sweep them up, like give yourself a hug and say everything's okay, but next time this happens in the adult phase of our life, like, we're going to act a little bit of a different way that's more socially acceptable. And then you can let all that sort of drop where you're with your friends that don't care if you, like, burp and fart and, you know, make duck sounds and do whatever else, you know, just being truly yourself. But there's areas of your life where you're going to have to polish it up a little bit, and not everybody wants, like, childish behavior at the boardroom table or wherever you happen to be, if you have a disapproving mother-in-law or whatever. There's so many scenarios. So with the Knight of Wands, excuse me, you can just go back in and sort of pick up those pieces. And the Knight can also come in, this could be your warning sign, you know, if you feel yourself starting to slip back into, like, woo, that kind of behavior, you could sort of picture the Knight of Wands coming in and going, hello, adult situation, and sort of remind yourself that certain things are not acceptable in certain company. So let's see where to set limits on your inner child with the next card here. So we've got the Knight of Cups. Very interesting, very interesting. So this really talks about inviting romance into your life, and maybe not everybody is for you. I'm just getting an impression that things could be handled a little bit more intuitively instead of, like, spreading the vibe regardless. You know, not everybody wants to see or hear about your romantic life, you know, or things like that. I'm just seeing a real call here for, like, a polished public persona, you guys. You know, sometimes you have to be on that stage, and only certain people get to that level in their life where every kind of their behavior is accepted and celebrated. You know, if you think of stars that are Lotharios, or, you know, how, like, Madonna just did whatever she wanted to do and she was really celebrated for it. But then she got to a point in her life where it dropped off. So I think you guys are really not seeing the limits, probably because you had either parents that were either super accepting of you or didn't pay a whole lot of attention to you. So you were able to be as flagrant as you wanted to be as a child and weren't really reined in, or you were admonished severely. So I'm seeing where you need to set some limits and boundaries here, Aquarius. So I dropped a card, so hold on. So where to let your inner child run free. This is very, very interesting. Very interesting. So it's going to be like striking a balance between when to express yourself and when not to. I'm just getting the sense that there's a bit of a show going on to cover hurt feelings here. Maybe you were deeply hurt as a child, or, you know, things happen in childhood, and because you're dealing with the child brain, things are interpreted differently and then imprinted on your brain forever after, and alters each and every individual in different ways as how they present themselves to the world. So I am getting a very, very confident you. However, the way that it is expressed could be very, and I'm getting the word inappropriate in certain circumstances and with certain people. And with the Ace of Cups, where to let your inner child run free is really express your true desires, your true feelings, and nothing sugar-coated, nothing with a veil. You know, you don't have to go and try to, I want to say this the right way, to impress people with certain facts or comments about yourself. You just have to be you with the Ace of Cups, and like overflow, like be the authentic you. And this is how you're going to draw in the people that belong to you, instead of people that match this sort of mask that you might be wearing because of things that you learned during your childhood and things that broke your heart with the Five of Cups. So gifts that will come from healing your inner child. This is fascinating. So I pulled the Devil card here, you guys. So this means that you'll be able to heal traumas, addictions, you know, shadow self. You could be able to get through that dark night of the soul. If you don't know what a dark night of the soul is, guys, I would really recommend that you check it out. I see there's some opportunity to heal some memories, to look at things in sort of a different way, to understand possibly your parents' perspective and what they were going through. Kenneth Suarez does a really, really, really good healing your inner child meditation. I've used it a few times and cried my eyes out. Honestly, I did not have very good parents. So it took me a long time to move beyond that. But anyway, I'm seeing here, guys, that there's sort of a false front that can be knocked down. So you can actually be bringing in the people that belong, that are a match to your heart center. So I think this was a really interesting reading here, you guys. And, you know, the devil needs to go away. And I just saw angel numbers 1313. And you could move past all of this sort of impish behavior, which is not attractive in adults, you know. It is to a certain limit, but not full time, you know, because you're not 2-year-olds anymore. So anyway, I'm going to leave the reading there, you guys, and hope this was helpful in some way. And, you know, just remember, I don't say anything to hurt people's feelings. Like, I'm a very unfiltered reader, and I want to say the things that I'm getting from my spirit guides so that it'll sort of strike a chord in the listener and promote a healing. So guys, thanks for tuning in, and take care of yourselves. Bye for now. Bye.